Hello and greetings, everyone. My name is Steve. Welcome, Bull Runners. Welcome to the Bull Runners community. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day so far. In this video today, community, I just want to share my thoughts with you. These are my personal opinions. Of course, I'll share the sources with you in the description section. In this crypto space, it's very, very important to look at the big picture. We are so early in this space. We're all shaping the history of crypto one way or the other. The things that I want to share with you today are concerning four major players in the financial industry that I see playing a major role in the crypto space. And all these things that have been happening in the last year, starting from Do Kwon and the Terra Luna collapse with the algorithmic stablecoin, which kicked off everything, with the Celsius, with the 3 arrows, with the FTX just lately, with the Silvergate, Silicon Valley Bank, and now even the Signature Bank. And you see how everything just comes crumbling down. All these things have just been accumulating. And for me, I believe there is no crisis that always goes without fulfilling its dues. So I believe all these things are leading up to something so much bigger than what we think it is. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe everything that's happening has a reason, has a purpose. Anyway, so let's highlight the four key players in this space. The first player is Circle. As we know, Circle is the issuer of USDC stablecoin. The second player is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, needless to say, is a leading global financial institution, too big to fail bank in the US. The third player is BlackRock. BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world, and through Larry Fink, its CEO and founder, it has long-reaching arms into the government. And the fourth and final one is Coinbase. As Coinbase, we know, as I mentioned, is the largest exchange, cryptocurrency exchange in the US, with 110 million verified users, and they want to be known for far more than just being a centralized exchange. And actually the goal is to become decentralized over time. So these are the four players: Circle, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, and Coinbase. Now, in this whole scheme, let me point out what their functions are. Starting with Coinbase. They are a cryptocurrency exchange, for one. Two, they have a blockchain. And three, their purpose is to on-ramp masses into DeFi. That's the role that they are playing. The second player, Circle, they offer a payment gateway that is frictionless and that is widely adopted in the form of USDC, as they have a third party investing their funds, their reserves, and that's BlackRock. And we'll get to them. The proceeds that they'll be receiving will be reinvested. So they have BlackRock investing their money for them, and all the proceeds, and I'll get into that later, all the proceeds will be reinvested into buying even more debt, more treasury bills from the government. So again, their function is they have a payment gateway that is frictionless and widely adopted in the form of USDC stablecoin. And their function is to keep accumulating more and more US debts in the form of treasury bills, because it's extremely lucrative, and that's something they're actually earning passive income with in the amount of roughly 100 million a month. So it's a very lucrative business that they are in right now. The third one is BlackRock. Now, BlackRock's function is they offer asset management services. They're the largest asset managers. They offer advisory services and legal connections to the government and the Federal Reserves and the World Economic Forum. And then finally, Goldman Sachs. Their main goal, obviously, is off-ramp, money coming from the exchange into the real world, because you still need that off-ramping. And it's a stable bank that will always be bailed out by the government because it's too big to fail. Okay, now we identified the four major players and their roles. So let's look at the sources. Let's start with the headlines. Coinbase launches layer 2 blockchain Base to provide on-ramp for Ethereum, Solana, and others, right? Goldman Sachs backed crypto payments group Circle aims to become a full reserve national digital bank. Circle has big ambitions. Their aim is to become a full reserve national digital bank. As we know, banks that just got busted, Silvergate, Signature, and Silicon Valley Bank, those banks don't have full reserve, they're fractional reserve. So these guys identified the problem that has been plaguing the space, and this is a stage that has been prepared and set up for them perfectly. They're backed by Goldman Sachs to have this platform to become a full reserve national digital bank. No more fractional reserves where there'll be bank runs like we just experienced. Another headline, Circle and USDC has two founding members. It's Circle and the cryptocurrency exchange giant Coinbase. And also, in addition to the capital raised, BlackRock has entered a strategic partnership with Circle to be its primary asset manager of USDC cash reserves and explore capital markets applications for its stablecoin. And the broader strategic partnership with BlackRock announced today will allow us to explore new use cases where USDC may be an efficient resource in the financial service. Other headlines, all eyes are on BlackRock and Coinbase partnership. So BlackRock partnered with Coinbase, another strategic partnership. Another headline, in Think We Trust, BlackRock is now the fourth branch of the government. Top US officials consulted with BlackRock as markets melted down. The world's largest asset manager was central to the pandemic crisis response. This is from Circle, deepening our partnership with BlackRock. What I want to highlight and point out here, it's the key. This is very important to understand. The Circle Reserve Fund is only available to Circle. So this is not a fund where other companies, entities, individuals can invest in. This is private. This is only for Circle. As our existing treasury holdings mature, the proceeds will be used to purchase new treasury by the Circle Reserve Fund. These are cash reserves that BlackRock is managing for Circle. And the goal for Circle here is that to just keep compounding. The proceeds that are coming out right after maturity, they'll just keep repurchasing more and more treasuries, more debt from the government. And this is a way to assist also with inflation if you think about it. Because who else is specifically creating a reserve fund that only Circle can invest in, and all the proceeds that are coming from the maturities are reinvested back in purchasing even more treasuries. So this just shows you how this whole mechanism that putting together is really tailored towards assisting the US dollar to remain the reserve currency, and how it helps also tackling the US debt crisis. And that's what Larry Fink has always been called upon. Whenever there's a crisis, BlackRock has been always called upon. And this is very important here. Remember, Fink's firm is a huge player across many stock and debt markets. So Larry Fink is a debt expert, and its advisory arm helped to execute some of the Fed's crisis response during the 2008 financial meltdown. So I just wanted to highlight that so that you understand the importance of this. And its portfolio consists of cash and short-dated US treasuries. The proceeds of this will be used to purchase new treasuries by the Circle Reserve Fund. So that's the whole idea. They want to generate a cash flow through buying US debts. And they'll keep buying more and more until the cash flow is high enough where you won't even have to worry about waiting for the maturity. That's the whole concept here. This is from the World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum appoints new members to the board of trustees. And who else is here than Larry Fink himself, the CEO of BlackRock. Here another headline, Coinbase CEO says USDC will become de facto central bank digital currency. As we know already, Circle and Coinbase together jointly own USDC. So this is his agenda. So USDC will become a de facto central bank digital currency. Goldman Sachs to spend tens of millions in dollars on crypto firms. And as we know, indeed, they spent millions of dollars by backing Circle. And also, the crypto markets are undergoing a flight to quality, says Goldman Sachs digital asset chief, meaning that there aren't really quality banks right now around that are trusted in the space. They're backing Circle to become the full reserve digital currency bank. And here you see Larry Fink himself talking about the next generation for the markets will be tokens. And exactly what he means is that there'll be stocks will be tokenized. BlackRock already did that through ETFs, and they can now be traded on Uniswap. I'll put all these links down below. For the sake of time, I won't be going into details with all these, but I'll leave all these links down below so you can read at your own convenience. And then the next thing is that the real innovation of those tokenized stocks are not the technology behind it, but the legal aspect of it. And who else is so well connected than Larry Fink himself? And I'd like to go into more details here. Fink's firm is a huge player across many stock and debt markets, and is in its advisory arm helped execute some of the Fed's crisis response during the 2008 financial meltdown. So not only in 2008 did Larry Fink's BlackRock advisory arm assist, but also on March 2020 during the pandemic. That's when also Fink was summoned again and hired by the government to assist them with the purchase of commercial mortgage-backed securities. So as you see, like I was mentioned earlier, Larry Fink has deep ties to the government. He's been always called upon for advice. And also, like I showed you at the World Economic Forum, he is an appointed board of trustees since August 22nd, 2019. Needless to say, BlackRock, through Larry Fink, is as close to a government arm as you can be, without being the Federal Reserve itself. There is no crisis that is left alone. And you see here, BlackRock is studying digital currencies, stable coins, and the underlying technologies following an increased interest from its clients in digital asset space. So the digital currencies is covered by Coinbase, right? Coinbase covers the digital currency aspect of this. And the stable coins is covered obviously by Circle, because Circle is the issuer of the stable coin. And as we know, Larry Fink has strategic partnerships with both Coinbase and Circle. And then the underlying technology is also through Coinbase. The technologies, as you see, Coinbase launched their layer 2 Base blockchain. So what I'm trying to say here is that these four major players, Circle, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, and Coinbase, are playing a major role in the crypto space. Like I said, Circle, they're issuing a payment gateway that is widely adopted, that is frictionless, easy to use, it's transparent, it uses the blockchain technology. Their aim is to just keep reinvesting all the proceeds they'll be having from the assets that is being managed by BlackRock and to buy more US debts. Goldman Sachs, once you want to turn your cryptocurrencies into fiat, that's where Goldman Sachs comes in, and their function here is to off-ramp from digital currency to fiat. Now, BlackRock, they're the global leaders in asset management. They have the technology, the software, they have the connections through Larry Fink to the government, the Feds, the World Economic Forum, the Bank of International Settlements. They're all very well connected. They all look up to him for advice. So that's his role that he's playing. And he'll be managing the assets for Circle. And Coinbase, obviously, they offer not just the Base blockchain that they'll be using, but also the exchange that is currently a centralized exchange. In the future, they're working slowly on being fully decentralized, and they're working as an on-ramp to bring millions of users into DeFi, and they're serving as a trusted on-ramp for new crypto users to get into the space. And Larry Fink, they're already asset managers for multi-billion companies in securities, and now he wants to tokenize those securities and bring them into DeFi. So that's the whole agenda that I see unfolding in the next 12 to 15 months. It's already started, as we saw. The layer 2 is already built. It's actually in beta right now. And for Circle, Goldman Sachs, it's already backing Circle to become the full reserve national digital bank. And as we know right now, what happened with Silvergate, with Silicon Valley Bank and now with Signature Bank, this is what's needed. We need a full reserve national digital bank and not just a fractionalized version of it where we just saw what happened during a bank run. Also, we see here that the two founding members for the USDC stablecoin are Circle and Coinbase. And again, we saw how top US officials are consulting BlackRock, Larry Fink to be specific, whenever there are meltdowns in the space. And don't be surprised if he was consulted again even during this meltdown that we just saw a couple days ago. And I see that everything is being positioned nicely for USDC to truly become the de facto central bank digital currency that is widely accepted, because the US will not want to lose their position as being the world's dominant reserve currency. It comes with a lot of privileges. And this is the way I believe these four powerhouses are working together. Obviously, they're all coordinating and working together with everyone playing their major role. And they're going to get into the crypto space and be a very dominant force. These are my own speculations of how I see things unfolding. These will be the key players in the industry. These are the three key areas that Goldman Sachs is working on. Tokenization, again, this goes hand in hand with what Larry Fink's vision is. He wants to tokenize securities, and this is what Goldman Sachs also wants. Remaking the plumbing of financial markets, so rewiring everything the way we know it, so digitalizing everything, and the profound effect that digital money will have across markets. So this is Goldman Sachs, and obviously their vision is aligning very well with Larry Fink's vision, because Larry Fink's, he wants to tokenize. He says tokenization of securities are the next generation for markets, and this is the same thing that Goldman Sachs is also talking about, the chief executive. And at the same time, you also see the Coinbase CEO talking about USDC becoming the de facto central bank digital currency. And then you see all these partnerships that BlackRock has with Coinbase directly, and also how he's very close with the government, and also how Circle and Coinbase are actually the founding members of the USDC stablecoin. So this is the video for today, community. In summary, like I told you, these four major players, the role that they're playing. For one, Coinbase, it's to offer the exchange and the blockchain. They serve as an on-ramp of millions of new users to come into DeFi, into the crypto space. Circle, they offer a payment gateway that is frictionless, transparent, widely adopted, and with their sole purpose is to keep purchasing more and more US debts in the form of treasury bills with the proceeds that they'll be receiving from the treasury bills investments. And BlackRock, they offer asset management services, advisory services, and they're very well connected to the government, to the Federal Reserve, to the World Economic Forum. Then finally, Goldman Sachs, they're strictly working as the off-ramp bank that is stable and that will always be bailed out if need be by the government. I hope this video was informational to you, as these are my personal opinions that I just wanted to share with you, and just point out where I see all this heading. And even throughout this mess that has been happening, I believe there's a strategy to this madness, and it's clear to me, see how everything has been just playing out nicely. Things are just falling in perfectly in place as we are preparing for the Bitcoin halving March 2024, and everything seems to be falling right in line with the regulators, with the collapses of these banks. It's like things are being prepared for the stage, and now the stage is ready to be entered, and these four major players are entering the stage and cleaning up the house. And I believe these are the roles that they'll be playing, and I just wanted to share this information with you. I hope it was informational to you. I wish everybody a wonderful rest of the day, and as always, let's keep in touch.